I'm Cameron.
I'm AJ.
I'm Erik.
I'm Rolo.
I'm Blake.
I'm Cooksey.
And we're Opinionated Gamers. Welcome back to the podcast. New topics on the wheel this week. But before we get into the wheel, we've had some people play some games and want to share some opinions on what they thought. We'll start with me. I have admitted on this podcast that I don't play Zelda. Haven't gotten past the Deku Tree. So, thanks to AJ, I borrowed Ocarina of Time for the 3DS and have thoroughly enjoyed it. I've made it further than I've ever made it before, which is not hard.
I was going to say, you had to beat the Deku Tree before.
So, you know what, though? I did, for the first time ever, beat the Deku Tree without cheats and walkthrough. Jump the gun on
10!
So, I did beat it without the walkthrough, and then I used the walkthrough from then on out, because I had no idea what I was doing.
Oh, I'm glad you beat your old personal best.
Yeah, that's true. But now I'm in Shadow Temple, and
You've been on Shadow Temple for how long now?
I rage quit Shadow Temple for a little bit. I had to get some Pokemon for Wonder Trade Wednesday, so
Understandable.
I had to go breed some stuff.
That's okay, you're not the only person in this room to rage quit a Zelda title recently.
Any other game.
Yeah.
Or every game that AJ's played, he's rage quit once.
No. Absolutely.
No Mario Kart! Oh!
Beepity beep
Beep, beep, beep. Can't say these words on the show. All right.
Hashtag AJ's public places.
How's the Majora's Mask coming for you, AJ?
Well, Blake's further than me.
Yes!
What happens when you rage quit?
Yeah. I love the look of it, but I hate the Z targeting, like, more than anything else. Like, it drives me, because the thing is I can be standing by a Deku Baba and be, like, have him not even on my screen with my back to him, and it'll still try and Z-target him. Whenever I try to lock my screen forward, and it just drives me insane.
Sounds like your fairy's an idiot.
Yeah.
But granted, you're playing on the old system, not with the new C-Stick.
Which
may be... Because the C-Stick is helping with targeting on the new one.
Oh, yeah.
And so... that may be an issue that people are going to find. And have you had that issue? Because you're not playing on yours.
I don't have a new C-Stick, no. But I have not had the same issue he's talking about. I was talking
So it sounds like a fairy issue.
My fairy just...
No, he would describe something to me, and I'd be like, are we playing the same game?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But where are you at?
I'm halfway through the last temple, and I just gotta collect like 5 more masks, and I'm done.
Oh, good for you!
You asked, you piece of crap! Why would you ask and just debate me like that?
Just so he
Just
could.
debate you like that. Can I help it?
I come back out of the kindness of my heart after leaving last week.
Well, now you've learned your lesson. Don't leave. Speaking of last time.
Don't come back.
Speaking of last time. Cooksey went ahead and played Star Fox 64.
Yeah, I'm
you
not
brought him over
sure.
to your house.
Not sure if you follow us on Twitter, but I was like, hey, come over. And he's like, okay.
So he went over, and what did you think about... I was scared to open up this box again. But, Cooksey, what did you think about Star Fox 64?
The leveling system is repetitive. And like I said, it was. But I was surprised with how I found that the boss battles were each unique in their own way, which was different than I thought it was. So I'll give you credit for it being less repetitive than I thought it was, but it's still one of the most repetitive games I've ever played.
Hashtag Smash Bros.
That's true.
Honestly. I mean, but that's all Smash Bros. is.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, you can't play Smash Bros. By yourself.
Oh, no. I found
Smash
that out
Bros.
this week.
The point of playing and getting good at Smash Bros. Is so you can beat your best friend and or siblings and laugh at them.
I did like in
I
Brawl,
have
though.
friends
The
and siblings.
Wii Brawl had a good story mode, though.
It did.
I mean, that was the thing about it.
I thought the Wii U one...
Oh, the
was
Subspace Emissary.
Yeah, the Subspace Emissary was
That was
great.
awesome.
And you could play by yourself.
Yeah.
That was a
But-
ton of fun. Like, you unlock
I
characters
saw
as
the
you
video.
progress through it. It was awesome. And every character had their own little cutscene at the beginning, introducing them.
It was cool.
It was awesome. They don't have that in the Wii U version?
No.
Wow.
One thing, though,
They
that
completely left that out.
they do have in the Wii U version are, like, crazy orders and master orders, if you know what those are. what it
sound
is
crazy and masterful.
yeah. So Master Hand and Crazy Hand, right?
Yeah.
The final boss kind of thing. They have like missions where you can do like a horde fight against like 8 or 12 or 15 different of a unique character, and then when you beat them, you unlock something and you pay coins to participate in. This is a master battle or a master order. Thanks. And so you pay money.
Hey,
and
Blake
you participate.
contributed.
Nice.
God! Stop! I've had enough of turtles!
And
It's about Blake's contribution.
Eric, we're going to kick you off. Continue, Cooksey.
so I thought you were gonna leave again.
It was something new, and it made it so that single player had something to do, but you didn't have to sit there and actually play through a story mode. Because that was one thing with Brawl, is I loved the story mode, but I couldn't play it for too long because it was just the same thing.
Which is why they added co-op mode to the story mode.
Which was perfect.
Which was awesome, because you could still play with a friend and
and not kick each other.
and not kick each other's butt. I did like the story mode on Brawl. Brawl was by far my favorite Smash game. Still,
Yeah.
I mean, even over the 3DS and
I
love
like
that I can play it on the 3DS, but I still
I like Melee better.
Yeah, same.
Melee was so much
Brawl.
fun.
I like Melee.
I like Brawl.
I like
The thing was,
I like Pichu.
I feel like this should be a really good
Yeah,
topic for the
Pichu
wheel.
kicked
well,
butt.
the thing is I like
Yeah.
Melee so much because all we had before that was the 64 version, and it was like such a big step.
And the 64 version killed your thumb.
It was a lot of fun, though.
Remember the old
64
rings on the joystick
Oh
on the
my
64?
God.
What do you mean
How
remember?
terrible.
I just played Star Fox yesterday.
Of
course I remember.
in forever.
Dude, I have an
What was the
N64 in my
difference?
room with Donkey Kong 64. Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So,
You're gonna I like turtles me, aren't you?
you know I was going to do this one.
Does that sound copyrighted?
What?
No.
Use it all the time. It's not.
It's like the Wilhelm.
Oh,
True.
okay. Wilhelm's cool.
We're good. So, all right. Let's. One last thing. Blake played a game that we've been begging him to play forever.
Our favorite, one of our
Ours,
favorites.
all of
Yeah.
ours. I think we've all come out except for Blake and said that this is one of our favorites. We wish they'd bring it back. Mario Kart Double Dash. We finally got Blake to play Mario Kart Double Dash. And guys, Blake, what did you think? I'm scared to ask. But what did you think?
Probably the worst game I've ever played.
No!
What? No!
Oh, good for
No.
you.
Anyway,
lose.
Why?
Okay, well, maybe it's just because I'm used to the more recent games, because the very first Mario Kart game I played is Mario Kart Wii.
Okay.
And then just going and playing Double Dash, the controls sucked.
I will
I
give you
think-
that. Like when you go from the Wii and then you go, or the 3DS version of Mario Kart, and you go to the GameCube, the joystick is way off.
Yeah. That's true. I like the motion control that the Wii adds. I actually nope. I'm not one of those losers that plays with the joystick on the Wii.
If you play with the joystick on the Wii, we actually don't think you're a loser. Thank you for supporting our podcast.
I just feel like it makes it
The
a pure
opinions of
game.
Eric are not necessarily the opinions of all of us.
Opinion
Man, I
of
wonder what
gamers.
Ryan
I
is
can
doing
have
right
my
now.
own opinion. You knew that when you signed up for this podcast, which you didn't actually sign up, but we really appreciate you downloading it or visiting again. But still, the very first time I got the Wii, went out, got the Mario Kart, bought 4 Wii wheels. We were gonna have a party, and I had 3 friends come over and say, "Do you have the joystick?" I was like, "No, no, no."
Did you say you can get out of my house?
Yeah, basically, we're not friends anymore. One of them was related to me. I disowned him.
I like the GameCube controller though. I like how they've made it so that you can still use the same GameCube controls as they've always had, or they had on.
You just
Double
plug
Dash.
in the
You just
GameCube
plug in the
controller.
GameCube controller. Woo! And then they've got the Wii or the GameCube controller that plugs into the Wii U remote too now. So they've kept that even through.
Which is awesome, because I think they realized that Double Dash was so much fun, and they just like, well, let's put the GameCube controller back in, because people seem to enjoy that. I think one of the problems that freaking Blake had was that someone else was on his cart, and he was all like, but Luigi's standard cart doesn't work.
Actually, he used Luigi.
because it's
Baby
Mario
Luigi.
and... Baby Luigi is my favorite character of all time.
He just didn't like how there wasn't a standard cart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really what ruined it for you.
Probably.
Like, there wasn't a standard card.
But you don't even play standard, you play Gold Glider.
It does the same thing. I can play standard. Do the same.
Golden
Looks
standards.
Golden standards.
All right, should we get to the wheel?
Sure.
Yeah.
Spin the wheel! All right. Game development for previous gens. Do you think it's a good idea for developers to go back and develop for the Xbox or the Xbox 360 or the Wii when there's a new console and those are outdated, the PlayStation 3? And do you think it's a good idea for game developers to because you see a lot now, especially with the Xbox, and they're moving away from this, but they'll develop one for Xbox One, and then they'll develop one for Xbox 360, same game, different consoles. Do you think this is a good idea?
I think it's a fantastic idea. A lot of people haven't had the money to switch over to the new consoles yet, so they all have their old previous gen consoles, and they can't catch up to the current gen quite yet. I think it'll be about another year or two until they can stop development for the 360 and the PS3.
I kind of agree with that, but I mean, if you're just going to buy all the games now for your PS3, what's stopping, like, I'm not going to trade in my PS3. GameStop has deals all the time, get $150 or so trade-in value on your PlayStation 3.
Which isn't enough.
When getting a PS4. And I'm like, okay, that's a great deal, but then I don't have any games. Right?
Yeah.
I'd buy a PS4 and I wouldn't have anything. So if they were backwards compatible, the new systems, I think it's genius.
Like the Wii was with the GameCube.
I think that was
Yeah.
the best.
Yes. That was the best.
That was
Awesome.
the best. And the fact that they had Virtual Console. I mean, I feel like they didn't do enough with Virtual Console, but the fact that I could trade in my N64, trade in the consoles to get the Wii, and then still play the GameCube.
and have the save data
And
on the GameCube.
Yeah,
memory
because it
card.
came on a memory card.
Right.
Yep.
It's
So-
not like nowadays where you have a hard drive and you get a new Xbox and all your saves are gone because it's not on a little card that you can just stick in to your new Xbox and a hard drive that's in the Xbox.
Right.
So, I think that's
think that's
more
the
than
biggest
anything, that's the
I think
selling
it's
point for me. I don't like that the new consoles aren't backwards compatible.
yeah.
I think that really you built this big fancy console and you didn't make it so I can play my old games.
Because
Well-
now you've got PS3 competing against PS4 or 360 competing against Xbox One because
In
of
a
the
way,
fact
because the fact that they made them so much more like you can use it for your TV and you can use it for a ton of additional things that they've added onto it, but I can't go back a disc.
I think it just sets them up for emulators to be developed for it later.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the whole purpose of an emulator is people want to play their old games. So
Yeah.
they download emulators. Which,
R.I.P. Cool ROMs.
seriously.
Well, yeah, like on their thing it said, we're sorry Nintendo had issues with us.
Which-
but
It
to be
makes
fair,
sense.
to be fair, it's against copyright.
yes, but it said on their website, it said, we apologize to Nintendo. All we wanted was for people to play their childhood games that they don't have the option to.
It's been real.
So.
It's been fun.
Believe it or not,
I
with
think
Cool
that's what
ROMs,
it is.
it was real fun.
Well, but that was all about playing the old games, and people still want to play their old games. New games are great, but nostalgia. I mean, that's what got me back into Pokemon.
Right.
Yeah.
Is I wanted to play what I played as a child. That's what makes it great.
And I said, Eric, have you ever heard of this emulator on your iPhone?
Hey, I didn't do anything illegal.
You're right.
Well,
Cut.
and the thing is if you didn't do that, you wouldn't have bought a 2DS and
No, it got me back into gaming, and I think that's what if Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox would utilize the Virtual Console the way they said they would.
Well, the 3DS does it, I think.
3DS did a pretty good job.
3DS
I think
has
they've done
a
an
great
okay
virtual
job, but
console.
they're really, you've got all these people out there that are developing ROMs off your game. Utilize them.
Yeah.
Utilize them. You've already got people that are developing the games to be played with an emulator.
Instead of
Why
suing
not?
them, hire them.
Yeah.
Buy
or
it.
buy the emulator off them, because then you don't have to pay people to port it over.
Mm-hmm.
that's also
Because they take so long for an old game to come back out on a system. I mean, the Wii U the Wii never, Virtual Console never panned out the way I had hoped it would.
Yeah.
They had I think I downloaded 6 games. They had 40 games. They kept putting out these Japanese games that.
And then they had 4 Mario games.
If it wasn't Zelda and it wasn't Mario, you couldn't find it on Virtual Console.
That wasn't true. They had Metroid.
Oh, they did have
Sure,
Metroid.
they did.
But it just was the choice of games was so limited. They have so many games, and you can get an emulator for all of these things. Why not utilize that and say, hey, look, I've got this emulator. Let's port it into our Virtual Console. We'll buy the emulator off you, even though it's technically ours or whatnot, but we'll pay you for your work of porting it for us and throw it on a Virtual Console.
So
I'd pay for it off a Virtual Console. I'm not opposed to paying for old
I'd
games.
pay $5
I don't want
for
to do it. I don't
Fire
want
Red.
to. I don't. I'd rather not break the law. I'd rather pay for my old game, but it's
Don't
not
wait.
available. It's not available, and that's where the emulators come in because I want to play the old game that's not available.
Right. That's one of the big problems with piracy nowadays, though, is they go through so many steps to make sure pirates can't get into it. A bunch of software nowadays comes out and it's all go through your email, call us, double check, make sure you have all this. The pirate versions, they don't have any of that anyway. They just download it. It's the software right there.
Yeah.
They
Which
don't
is
have
illegal.
the security
It's
checks.
illegal.
It is illegal.
It's illegal.
But
Pirating.
But you can't help to think sometimes it'd just be easier to pirate this. I wouldn't have to go through all the security bullcrap.
Self-corrupting.
It's not bullcrap if you don't want people to pirate your stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the developer, I don't want
files.
somebody stealing my
Right,
stuff.
but
I
someone
want to
will.
make money. Yeah, but
They take the security out.
That's where I wish these companies would come in and say, let's make it available. If clearly it's in demand.
Yeah.
Clearly, people want to play Fire Red, Leaf Green,
Yellow.
Get on that band. Look at how many people downloaded it. Get on the bandwagon and make it available on their consoles, their systems that they like as a Virtual Console game. How many of you in this room would download Fire Red onto your 3DS, even if it was just straight Fire Red to play through and have?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd play it.
I wouldn't. I'd rather have Leaf Green.
If you Leaf Green, Fire Red, shut up.
If they had yellow,
But
I'd do that too.
Yeah, we all would pay for
The
it.
older it gets, the more
Emerald
you can be
on
expected
Cool
to pay.
ROMs had 34 million downloads.
34 million downloads. Why are you not?
Why don't you
Why are
see
you
that
not
there's
porting that
profit
into your,
to be made
into
there?
your system?
Because they anticipated Oris to make all the profits for them.
Well, that's
With
great,
the
but why
re-release,
not?
but it's
Clearly, nostalgia is huge. Why not utilize that and make money off of it?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta feed the fire of the Gen winners out there.
As we discovered in our text argument the other day that I posted on Twitter, nostalgia is big.
So, all right, should we spin the wheel? Since we
Sure.
kind of covered that topic, but it went off.
Yeah, game development for previous gen. Good job, everybody.
I thought it went well.
It did,
All right.
because Virtual Console is that. So
That,
Yeah.
it's true.
we were
So,
right.
We're right on. Well, that was a weak spin. Ready, go. Forward! I like this one. When you are playing a game, now lots of new games, especially open world gaming, has a lot of side quests where you can go and do. So the question is, side quests, do you play them on the first playthrough or do you not? What do you...
Well, it really depends on the game. Like Skyrim, I feel like if I'm walking around somewhere and someone's like, hey, I need your help clearing out this cave, then I'll be like, I'm not going to be like, nah, you're on your own. Good luck there, bud. I would be like,
screw you, dude.
I'm going to be like, yeah, sure, I'll come help you out. And then he's all like, yeah, here, have a level 100 sword. Thanks, bud, you're the best.
Well,
It's a way to get weapons and gold for what you need.
yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing though, Skyrim, you can do the main quest and never be underleveled. And if you do side quests, you're super over leveled. One game like Borderlands, you have to do side quests. If you don't do side quests by the fourth mission, you're 5 levels under the guys you're fighting, and you're dying every time. It sucks. You have to do side quests, which kind of makes it for a hard flow of story.
I think
Because-
Fallout's
yeah.
a lot like that too.
Yeah,
Fallout's kinda
Fallout's
like that.
It's a good mix where if you can do the side quests and not be over leveled, but if you just did the main story, you won't be under leveled too much either.
Well, the thing is, for the first playthrough, it's all, for me, it's dependent on what do I get out of it. For example, Majora's Mask I've been playing recently, and the very first thing I did was go to get the bunny hood so I could walk twice as fast, which you really don't need at all. It doesn't do anything unless you want to get the Fierce Deity Mask, which is
Which
apparently a
makes
thing.
the freaking game a million times easier at the end.
Didn't know that. But that's the only time you ever really need it. I mean, you could beat the game without it.
You can.
But I got it right away just for the convenience of walking twice as fast.
Rage quit.
At least we weren't in a restaurant that time.
All right, guys. So, Rolo, what do you think? Side quests on first place.
Put your sound
Well-
away.
Whenever I play a game, the first time I just worry about the storyline, trying to beat it, and then I play it through a second time and try and get all the side quests done. And then second time I don't have to beat the game because I've already beat it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like again, it depends. Like on Pokemon, I would just worry about the storyline first, and then the second time I play through it, I would try to catch all the Pokemon the second time, because then if I don't beat the game, I'd still catch all the Pokemon.
Still haven't done that. I'm not gonna catch them all.
Didn't
You
you
have
catch
them
them
all,
all?
don't you?
done. Yeah, I've done it.
Cooksey has a full Pokedex.
I think I'm 699. That's why
Of the 719.
like 19.
That's impressive.
So he's got 20.
That's
I
impressive.
have 100.
If AJ keeps Wonder Trading, he'll be there.
Honest.
You keep getting everything. Holy cow.
What?
No,
I just want a Ghastly. That's all I want. And I get a shiny level 100 Holo and a shiny level 100
What have you been
Hitmonchan.
trading?
Crap.
My EVs.
and he traded the do they give him a what did he give you?
Darkrai.
Yeah, Darkrai. He even level 1 Torchic.
Yeah. I got a level 100 Darkrai also yesterday.
I traded a level 1
I was like,
Yeah.
I
don't
was
think
Wonder Trading.
Karma exists anymore.
I was
really
Wonder
don't.
Trading. I was Wonder Trading, and the guy, his message comes up and it just says, "You're gonna be happy." And I was like, Ghastly, please, Ghastly, please.
Only you would be happy under that.
Yeah, but
He needs a Ghastly for his draft.
I got a Ghastly on
need
Wednesday.
a
I was
Ghastly.
pretty happy.
Yeah, yours was a shiny though.
But
Even
still,
better.
it was
The only shiny I
level 1
ever
shiny
got I gave
Ghastly.
to Blake.
Way to
Which
go.
one?
I got 5 on
With
Wonder
my
Trade.
Caterpie.
I got 5
Which
on
he used.
Wonder Trade Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nappy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks, Nappy.
We love Wonder Trade Wednesday, so
Yeah,
follow
you
Nappy.
guys
Now, I
do.
mean, now that he knows who we are. You
yeah,
should-
he's our neighbor.
Yeah, we plug him.
But we
He's
like
right next to
Nappy.
our office.
All right, so
He's next to the VGcritic office. And BD.
speaking of Pokemon breeding and Wonder Trading and you're working for Ghastly.
Thank you. Level
Coming up
100.
on the website, you should see something about this. We started our own league, GBA, Global Battle Association.
Cooksey and I sent out tweets about
Not
it.
to be confused with
Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance for iOS or anything like that. Game Boy Advance.
That doesn't exist anymore.
That
though.
doesn't exist anymore. It is long gone as well with Cool ROMs and the death of that.
R.I.P.
Alright,
Well, how about we explain what
let's
the draft
let's introduce what you'll just be seeing it. We're just going to give you a little taste of what we've done, and you'll be seeing it on the website. You can follow it along. So
Okay. So we did the math. What was it? 85.
85.
We had a draft list that we presented to everybody about noon yesterday, and what it was a list of 85 different Pokemon, 18 from each tier, OU through NU. We didn't use any Ubers, and we didn't drop below NU. And then we had a list of Megas that were all just mixed tier, except, of course, they stayed in the range we were using. And we each did a draft list, and we did order, we did it based on experience with Pokemon. And we each picked a list, and what we're going to do is we're setting up a tournament where we do a kind of a round-robin style, and we're each going to play each other, and we're going to, if we win, it's 2 points, tie 1 point, lose 0 points. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through, and we're going to see who can train up their draft the best, and
the draft consists of 3 of each and 1 Mega.
3 of each tier and 1 Mega.
So we've got teams of
13.
13 and we'll go up head-to-head, very a la sports,
March
tournament
Madness.
style. Not even March Madness, but more like a World Cup format.
World Cup.
Yeah.
World Cup.
Are we going to have a
Pokemon.
losers bracket?
For you, yes.
I just want to make sure I get to keep playing after I lose on my first week.
Yes, it's a season, so we play through like a sports season, like how the Utah Jazz every time they lose they keep playing.
Please stop.
All right, here we go. I love the Jazz, I really do. I just wish they'd be good. All right, here we go. Whoa, that was a weird spin. Yeah, we'll spin again. Six. All right, 6. Risk versus Monopoly. We are going board game style. We're not just limited to video games, so we wanted to have a conversation of everybody hates these two. Well, you either hate or you love these two games because they take an eternity to play.
Yeah.
What game is better, Risk or Monopoly?
Risk is so much better than Monopoly. Monopoly sucks. I hate Monopoly.
Because you suck at it. That's...
Yeah, I've always lost. I've always won a game of Risk. I can never win Monopoly.
Oh, so you play
Here's
yourself
the thing.
in Risk.
Risk is only good on the iPad.
There's a Risk
There's
on
a Risk
the
on the
iPad.
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
It's way good.
Nah, dude. The board game.
No, having
Board
to
game.
move all those little pieces around over and over again.
Okay.
You can do the same thing about Settlers of Catan.
No,
Having to move all
there's
the pieces
so much
around
less.
over and over again. It's awful.
Well, Settlers of Catan is a great game, but it's
Speak
it's
English.
like half the
Not
pieces.
your native language.
It's half the pieces of Risk.
Yeah.
And you don't have to move pieces every turn. You move one piece every turn at most on Settlers of Catan.
That's true.
On Risk, you're moving, I've got 34 troops. Let me move them all into Africa.
Here's the thing. With the only reason I like Monopoly better is because both are just as frustrating to lose at. But the thing is Risk takes like 4 hours to play. So if I'm going to play for 4 hours just to lose, whereas if I play for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
You play for an hour and a half? I had a game go on for a week solid. I'd play for 3 hours every night with my family. 3 hours for a whole week, and I
Sounds like the
still
worst
lost.
game ever.
It was the worst game ever.
And why do you still like Risk better?
No, I'm talking Monopoly. This was Monopoly. It was 3 hours every night for a week.
And you're playing Monopoly wrong.
Obviously.
No.
You know that when you land on somebody else's property, you have to pay them.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
I bet nobody else in the universe has had that problem.
Play 21 hours of Monopoly in a week.
I bet they have.
Same
I
thing.
bet
Of
someone.
one consecutive game.
One game.
Then you're
One single
playing it
game.
wrong.
No. Games in Monopoly last forever.
I played games of Monopoly last like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the fast version of Monopoly.
No.
No.
No. Well, that Let's Play that we watched, there's 3 parts, and they're each like an hour and a half.
There
only
is
2 parts
nothing
that are
like
45
crushing your
minutes.
opponent in Monopoly on Boardwalk.
No.
You own Boardwalk
Oh,
Marketplace, they land on it, they go bankrupt, you get all their property. It is a fantastic feeling.
Yeah.
That was the problem. One person would own the expensive properties, and then a bunch of other people owned a bunch of small properties, so everyone was just always paying each other.
That's what's
Everyone
fun.
is bringing in almost as much money as they would spend.
So negotiate. Trade property.
That's why you gotta trade property.
You have to trade property.
No. Trust me. If you've met my family, you know we don't get along well enough to trade.
So be smart. Go out first on purpose and set up the biggest death match you've ever seen between your family. That's what I do. If I'm not going to win, I make sure one person has the entire greens and blues and other people have monopolies everywhere else. And I sit there and watch.
Risk is more fun than Monopoly, but only on the iPad. I will not play it in the board game fashion. Monopoly, I will play the board game over and over again. I love the board game. I'll play it because I don't want to worry about the setup and the...
Well, then I'm not inviting you to my Risk night tomorrow.
Good, I don't want to come. But I'll bring Monopoly Electronic Banking Edition, which has revolutionized Monopoly and made it...
I hate the
a million times
Electronic
better.
Banking Edition.
No.
I had to play that in school. I remember.
No, because you played it in school, you hate it?
Yeah,
It,
no.
it improved Monopoly 100
I played it in school, and every time you owed rent, it was the worst. You had to write down. It was financial literacy. You had to write down everything you spent.
you don't have to write down everything you spend.
And it'll be that much more fun when I don't punch
a class. In the game, you just hand them your credit card and they press one button and it takes the money from
And
them.
everyone on my group would just write cuss words down instead of actual things. and
That's
they
because you
got
played
full
it in
credit.
school. Oh my
I played Pokemon
I played
in
with
school and I still
Creed.
like it.
All right. And you played with Creed. You probably kicked your butt.
I actually won that one. I still hated.
Monopoly Electronic Banking wins. All right. Anything else to add, guys, before we close this podcast?
Thanks for listening.
Check out Rolo Be Gaming YouTube channel.
Yeah, Rolo Be Gaming YouTube channel.
YouTube channel. We got a video up there with these guys playing Minecraft.
And be sure to check out VGcritic.com.
You can believe.
A little slow on that.
That's it. I'm texting our boss. You're getting fired.
I meant to press the game over one.
Nice.
All right, that's the one I meant to
It's
press.
about time, Craig.
Let's do this one.
Maybe that was a sign.
This is going south fast.
Tell me this is
All right.